Here's more wrestling news for October 3rd, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include: results are out, WWE's writing on the wall is almost confirmed. Jon Moxley vs. Jimmy Jacobs announced. Rey Mysterio sidelined with medical issue. Why Brie Bella was adamant on not helping Bryan Danielson. Why was Nikki and Brie Bella's show Total Bellas canceled? Released WWE wrestler has already signed with AEW. Wrestler shows off gnarly image of broken ankle. Big E never wants to be a copycat John Cena, and more. We're kicking off today with Survivor Series 2021, which we reported earlier this week isn't as selling as well as WWE had hoped, with almost half the tickets sold being resold on secondary markets. By comparison, AEW consistently sells well, with 20,000 fans packing the Arthur Ashe Stadium for their Grand Slam, and this isn't a one-off. The Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that when you compare ticket sales, AEW is outselling WWE, and Tony Khan's company is slightly ahead of WWE with their advance ticket sales for October. The report adds that AEW is ahead despite tickets for both Miami shows not doing well, and that the sales are much closer because neither show has a big event this month, unlike September's Grand Slam or Super SmackDown. WWE may be losing in the ticket sales, but that doesn't mean there's not a legion of loyal fans ready to buy tickets, but it's telling that the Upstart promotion, which is less than 3 years old, is outselling Vince McMahon. AEW ticket sales may be doing well, but the same can't be said for Rampage, as the viewing figures for Tony Khan's latest creation are tanking fast. On their first episode, the show pulled in 740,000 viewers, which soared to 1.129 million for the first dance and the debut of CM Punk, but those high figures are a distant memory. Each week, Rampage has consistently lost viewers, with 722,000 tuning in on the post-First Dance show before 670,000 on September 10th. That dropped to 642,000 the following week and 640,000 on September 24th. As for this week, the show fell again, now settling at 594,000 fans tuning in, and although Tony Khan may consider Rampage to be on par with Dynamite as another A show for AEW, the numbers don't back that claim. One name fans can see on Rampage is Jon Moxley, who will be appearing at a non-AEW event to face Jimmy Jacobs. It's been over a decade since the pair feuded on the independent scene, but their long-awaited rematch will come at Tales from the Ring 4 on Saturday, October 30th. Their match is billed as an Iowa street fight 10 years in the making, and we're sure things are gonna get violent when the two get their hands on each other later this month. Back to WWE, as Rey Mysterio was drafted to Raw this week alongside his son Dominic, but he hasn't been wrestling much in recent memory. Rey's last televised match was on the September 10th SmackDown, and his last singles match was back on August 20th, and there's a worrying reason why the former world champion has been away from the ring. Fightful Select reports that Rey isn't clear to compete, and that he was supposed to face Roman Reigns at a live event last night, but was later pulled from the show. As of right now, there's no word on when Mysterio could be cleared, and though Rey showing up on Raw alongside his son is enough to get fans excited, we're sure crowds would much rather see one of wrestling's most beloved babyfaces compete in the ring. At All Out 2021, Bryan Danielson debuted for AEW, and given his work in WWE, this can't have been an easy decision for him. One person who knows that is Brie Bella, Bryan's wife, and during an appearance on Sippin' the Tea with Ariane Andrew, the Hall of Famer explained that it was Bryan's decision alone to make. All summer long, he kept contemplating, kept going back and forth. I was like, I'm not helping you make a decision. You're 40 years old, this is probably going to be your last run, so you have to just let your heart tell you where to go. Brie added that though she's with WWE, she didn't want her husband thinking they had to be in the same company, and said that she may look at an in-ring return herself in a year, as she's currently busy with other ventures and being a mom. In the end, Bryan chose AEW in what was one of the company's biggest ever signings, and with an AEW World title match seemingly inevitable, it appears Bryan Danielson made the right choice. Speaking of the Bellas, their show Total Bellas ended this January, with its Season 6 finale wrapping up the show. A spin-off to Total Divas, the Bellas had been reality TV stars for 8 years before Total Bellas wrapped, and we now know why the show ended. Speaking to Entertainment Tonight, Nikki explained that she didn't like the idea of her son Mateo's pictures being shared around on social media by fans, as she wants him to have a normal child upbringing. After years of wanting to become a mother, Nikki and her fiancé Artem Chikvintsev welcomed their first son in 2020, and we hope that he gets the normal life that his mother and father want for him. Next week, Bobby Fish will make his AEW debut when he challenges TNT champion Sammy Guevara on Dynamite, and the former Undisputed Era star is likely already All Elite. When eagle-eyed fans looked at the match graphic for the title match, they noticed that Fish is wearing a brand new t-shirt, one not on his PWT store, and that underneath the H in Fish, there's what looks to be a small AEW logo. AEW wouldn't be making shirts for a guy who's not signed to the company, and although Fish has been working with MLW lately, all signs point to him being AEW through and through. At All Out 2021, Bryan Danielson debuted for AEW and immediately set his sights on Kenny Omega. Danielson and the world champion tore the house down at AEW's Grand Slam, and despite Omega's claim that there will be no rematch, this match will certainly happen, even if it takes place outside the All Elite promotion. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, AAA's booker Dorian Roldan is hoping about featuring the hotly anticipated rematch, as well as other top AEW stars. CM Punk on Twitter said he'd like to do a match in Mexico City with Penta and Phoenix versus he and Bryan Danielson, belts versus beard. Dorian Roldan freaked out. Roldan had talked about wanting to do Danielson challenging Omega for the AAA Mega title after he saw their match last week. It's unclear if Tony Khan would ever allow either match to happen before they could run it in AEW, but it wouldn't be surprising if he stopped these huge contests happening in AAA or any other company than his own. It's also worth noting that AAA doesn't market their programming to American fans, but with matches this big, we're sure that these matches would have a huge fan base no matter where they happen. And we're ending today with Braun Strowman, who was released from WWE this year and has now announced a major project from outside the squared circle. On social media, Strowman announced that he'll be an analyst for the upcoming Mr. Olympia Arm Wrestling Championship that'll air this month on NBC Sports. The championship will take place on October 8th and 9th in Orlando, Florida, and Strowman will be joined by other analysts including actor Marvin Cove, rapper Master P, and fighter Mike Perry. October will be a big month for Strowman, who's expected to debut for Impact at this month's Bound for Glory, but he has an arm wrestling championship to analyze first. And we're ending today with Sami Callihan, who'll be out of action for the foreseeable future thanks to a serious leg injury suffered at recent Impact tapings. During the September 18th match, the former OVE leader performed a suicide dive that went horribly wrong, resulting in Callihan suffering a broken left ankle, broken tibia, and broken fibia. After surgery, Callihan was released from hospital on September 21st and is now recovering from the pain, but is expected to miss close to a year of action. Callihan at least still has his sense of humor, as while resting at home in Iowa, he tweeted a photo of his gnarly-looking foot with the caption, "It's probably fine." Callihan's foot definitely isn't fine, which is why he had surgery to fix his damaged foot, and the former Impact World Champion now has a long road ahead of him before he gets back in the ring. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.